Hi, everyone. It's Professor Lenke. First of all, again, I would like to apologize so much for having a class cancel suddenly or cancel class suddenly on Wednesday. It was one of those things where the school called my wife and I saw someone call me and I just ignored it because I was about to open up the Zoom room for class. And my son was in the nurse's office and needed to be picked up, but he wasn't really sick. So it was one of those situations where it things just kind of happen. So again, thank you for your patience. I really appreciate that. So I wanted to make this quick video to just talk about the module for the week since we didn't get a chance to talk about it in class, and then to talk about the poetry writing assignment because I've had a couple questions about that, and I haven't been able to give everyone feedback quite yet on their drafts, which I will. So as always, you click the week 11. And so one thing that I've been doing, which I think everyone has kind of noticed, but also had a couple questions, is that you need to go through the modules in a sequence, like so sequentially. So you start with welcome to week 11 on that page and you just click next. And so if you don't do that, then you're not going to be able to jump ahead. You have to view each page before you can see the next page, if that makes sense. All right, so you would click week 11. You look through all the information to get yourself familiar with what we're going to do this week, and then you click next. All right. You watch the video, set your weekly intention, click next. This week, we're doing the second part of our art project and posting on the discussion board. So again, over the last week, we've been looking at a lot of different types of art, right? From the Childish Gambino video to the artwork about Asian Americans and the murals and the photographs, stuff like that. So a couple of us have already posted. And so what you're doing is you're posting a piece of art and then you're commenting on it, right? So again, it looks like a lot of us have already done that. And so you have to post some sort of picture and then provide the commentary on it and then respond. Okay, so if you have questions about that, then definitely, of course, as always, reach out. But it seems like we're doing pretty good about that. Okay, some sentence starters. Okay, so our vocabulary, again, for the vocabulary, you were just working off the same document that you've been working off for the last month or, for the first part of the semester, basically. So I don't think anyone has had really any issues with that. So that looks fine to me. And then we're coming back to this poetry writing assignment. So again, for this assignment, you're doing two things. You are reading the two poems by Langston Hughes and Tupac, and you are kind of breaking down the language in those poems and trying to get a sense of what they are saying. So they both are about overcoming things to some extent. And so what you're doing is you are finding places in A Dream Called Home where Raina is overcoming challenges or growing somehow, despite the challenges that she's facing. So you're comparing some of the ideas and themes in those poems. So ideas and themes being right, you know, challenge or rising up or growth, right? And you're applying those same themes to A Dream Called Home, which we've talked about in class a bunch of different times, right? We did our projects and our one pagers and about themes and everything, and then you're comparing them. Okay, so how does the language being used in the poetry, how can that be compared to how Raina is describing her own narrative experience in her memoir? So that's the general idea. Again, I'm not looking for a master's dissertation thesis comparing the literary techniques used in each of those poems. I'm not looking for any of that stuff. I just want you to read and consume the poetry and then think about what it's saying and then try to make a connection to A Dream Called Home. So there's really no right or wrong answer. It's just I want to see some critical thinking as far as this goes. So again, it's got to be MLA format. So that means Times New Roman font, size 12, headers, right? Double spaced in a Word document. Okay. So that's what we're working towards here. It should be about a page, page and a half max. Okay. So we're looking at about like 5, 6, 7, 800 words kind of max. All right. Again, look at the textbook for a little bit more information, but that's the general gist of what I'm looking for. You're going to read the poems, make some connections to A Dream Called Home based on the language used in both pieces of text. Okay, so again, that's going to be due on Monday night. And then in class on Monday night, or not Monday night, in class on Monday morning, we are going to do some activities to help us make some comparisons. So if you want to wait till Monday to do your final poetry assignment until after class, so we get a chance to talk about it, then do it. That's perfectly fine. Okay. And then this week, we're slowly also introducing ourselves into rhetorical analysis. So rhetorical analysis is the primary thing that we study in English 115 or ESL 115A. So if you are looking to take 115 next semester, then this is a good kind of exercise and practice to get us used to the kind of like the language and the sort of things that we'll be doing in those classes, right? So you're going to watch these videos by Professor Whitsett where she explains in rhetorical analysis. Here's a commercial that she references, how we kind of turn our rhetorical analysis into writing. So you'll do that. We'll talk about noun clauses. So just like adjective clauses are a group of words that describe a noun, noun clauses are groups of words that function as a noun in a sentence. So that's like why sometimes we can have these like really, really long subjects because those are big noun clauses, or even in these cases down here, right? 7 million students were enrolled in community college. It could just said students were enrolled, right? But 7 million students were enrolled. So this noun clause, it's functioning as a noun in a sentence, right? And it becomes before the verb. So the way it's being used in the sentence is like a noun, if that makes sense. And so we'll talk about this a little bit on Monday, and here's a video to help you understand that a little bit more. So again, you got to watch these videos because these help you understand the topics that we're going to be talking about in class and in our future assignments. Okay. Very short little comprehension quiz, right? Or it's not even a quiz, right? It's just a check. It's not a formal quiz. It's probably like, it's like 10, 11 questions. Right? So you'll do that just to make sure you have a little bit of an understanding of what rhetorical analysis is. And then we're going to do some practice rhetorical analysis. So this is something that we'll maybe do on Monday if we have time, or we'll do next Wednesday. But we're going to take a look at Martin Luther King Jr.'s famous "I Have a Dream" speech and do a little rhetorical analysis about it. And so again, it's not only what is happening in the video, but what are the elements that are making you feel a certain way. So we're really kind of doing some critical thinking and analyzing. Okay. And so that's it for the week, right? If you have questions, you can always throw them on this question and answer. But other than that, I will see everyone on Monday. So if you have a question about this module this weekend, then send me an email and I'll try to answer as best. If not, we'll talk about it on Monday. So later.